Hey everybody, this is Sam Mallory from sammallory.com. In this episode, I'm shooting out two wireless systems. I've got a Sennheiser G3 wireless system, and I've got a Lectrosonic SMD transmitter that's going to an SMA receiver. Right now we are listening to the Lectrosonics wireless. The microphone is here on my chest. I've got a Senken COS11 microphone plugged into the Lectrosonics. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Sennheiser kit now. Okay, now we are listening to me speak through this one. This is the Sennheiser G3, and it's plugged into this lavalier on my shirt, which is the Sennheiser ME2 microphone that comes with the kit. And the receiver is back here, plugged into the audio bag. You may not notice any difference at all between the sound of these two microphones. And this shootout isn't really about sound quality because this is just a YouTube video and the file is compressed and you're really not going to be able to do some critical listening. I'm going to switch back now to the other mic just for the heck of it. Now I'm speaking to you again through the Lectrosonics. But basically when it comes to wireless systems, people, they usually start out with a shotgun microphone and then they realize they need the mic to be closer to the talent, so they realize they need a wireless system. They start looking into their options and pretty quickly realize that there's no entry-level system really. It's not a good, better, best situation. You pretty much have a better and a best. And in this case, you have the Sennheiser G3, which is better, and then you have systems like this Lectrosonic system, which is the best. There's other good wireless systems like this. There's Zaxcom and a few others, but it's a pretty short list. And you may be wondering, well, if I can get this system for $600, why on earth would I shell out, well over $4,000 just for one of these microphones? When you can't hear the difference. I'll go ahead and switch again. Switch back now to the Sennheiser G3. And again, you may not notice the difference. Maybe you do. Good for you. But basically, it's kind of silly to shoot out these two wireless systems. They're just very different. They're for very different kinds of people. This is the go-to system for most people who are on a budget. If they're shooting like a low-budget documentary film, these are bought by a lot of camera people, really, when it comes down to it, because they just can't really throw down the money needed to buy the serious Lectrosonic system. And, for $600, this is a really nice sounding system, and it works really well. But what you get when you step things up to a Lectrosonics wireless, as you can see, just looking at them, this transmitter is both smaller and it's also fully made out of metal. The Sennheiser is kind of made out of a die-cast metal, and this door on the front and this face is plastic. So it's just an all-around stronger construction. The latest version of this wireless is called the SMVQ. This is the SMD. This model is a couple years older. But anyhow, the latest model allows you to change the power at which it transmits the signal. You can go from 50 milliamps all the way up to 250 a quarter watt power, which is more powerful than the G3. So what that means for you is that the signal is going to be more robust and that it's going to be harder for interference to kind of break through that strong of a signal. The other thing is you can get a much greater distance. Your talent can be super far away from the receiver and you'll still be able to pick them up. Whereas a system with less power like the G3 is going to drop out sooner. But really, this is just a video for the heck of it. There's no comparison between the two. It basically comes down to this. If you were a Secret Service person and you were put in charge of protecting the President of the United States and you had to transport them from one point to the other, and you had two vehicles that you could do it with. One of the vehicles is a armored limousine with like bulletproof glass and the whole bit. The other vehicle is like a Toyota, a like 10-year-old Toyota Camry, say. Both vehicles are going to be able to get the president from A to B. They'll get there safely. But if you had the choice between the limousine and the Toyota, you would most likely put them in the limousine. So that's what you get here. It's just for people doing mission critical work where, you know, their reputation is on the line, there's a lot of money being spent on a shoot. Say you have famous talent who, you know, you can't afford any mistakes to happen. You use something like the Lectrosonics wireless. For people on a budget who just want to spend the least amount of money as possible, you get the Sennheiser G3. Anything less and you're doing yourself a great disservice. Anyhow, this is Sam Mallory from sammallory.com. 1 second. Just going to end the podcast here on the Lectrosonics system to be classy. But anyhow, thanks for checking out my blog and come back soon. Got more stuff coming up.